Have you ever wondered how a dog trainer actually trains a reactive dog, like outside of the 30-second training clips? Because if so, this video is for you. Now this is a long one, folks, so get comfy, get cozy, grab pen and paper, grab a snack, because today I'm going to introduce to you the concept of how a dog trainer addresses reactivity with 4 separate categories. And this is really more of the concept, but if you don't have a good understanding of the concepts, then how are you going to be able to actually physically train your dog? If we haven't met before, hi, my name is Taylor Reardon. I'm a certified professional dog trainer and service dog instructor. I'm based in Alpharetta, Georgia, which is just north of Atlanta. I do travel for training through my traveling trainer program. More information in my link in bio, through Instagram, which is linked in this bio. Anyways, moving right along, back into reactivity. What is going to happen if you skip a category, which you're going to want to do with the first one because it's going to feel really boring, you're never going to get to that end goal. And if you've already tried to train your reactive dog, well, then you're going to want to revisit this one and really, really prioritize it. I have to stop and say this. I hate saying reactive dog. It's like saying bad child. We don't do that. So truly, it's a dog that displays reactivity through barking, through pulling on the leash. It's a dog that's just afraid of somebody that comes close to them. It's a dog that's afraid of other dogs. It's a dog that's so excited to see the kiddo across the street, right? Your dog's not a bad dog. They just lack coping skills and potentially lack some impulse control if they're very excited. So, okay, let's dig back in. Management mode and training mode. Those are your 2 modes. When you're really trying to modify behavior, you're gonna stay within these 2 modes and not be in limbo in between. That will not work for you. Now in management mode, you are preventing your dog from having the opportunity to rehearse the undesirable or inappropriate behavior. Taylor, what the heck did you just say? All I said was that you're going to prevent your dog from being able to do the bad thing in the first place. You're going to prevent your dog from being able to continue developing that habit of the behaviors that you don't want to keep seeing. You're just not letting your dog have a chance to mess up because you've already physically adapted their environment so that they really won't be doing that at all because there's no chance that they're going to see or hear the distraction. I'm going to circle back to that, but let me tell you really quick what training mode is. Training mode is your solution. Management mode is your band-aid effect. So in your solution, you're really teaching your dog what to do in those scenarios, but of course you have to be readily available to work with your dog. You also have to make sure that it's just the correct environment, it's a correct setup for your dog to be comfortable and successful. So let's jump back into management, because if your dog's gonna be too stressed out in a scenario, avoid it. If it's questionable, avoid it. So management mode, you could have your dog at home, you could adapt your walking path, your walking routes to, either not see a ton of people in the first place, or like if you see a dog coming, go ahead and turn and go the other way, because if you're at least avoiding that chance for your dog to end up barking at the distraction or pulling towards the distraction, well, then you're just not adding to the problem. Because really with the way that certified trainers work is that we work through errorless training. It's just a concept, but it's a concept in which we don't want the dogs to practice bad behaviors. In the same way that you're not gonna go to the gym and pick up a weight with bad form, ever. Why? Because it's not good to practice bad form and you're at risk of injury. Okay, we're making good time. We have a 10-minute cap, so just hang tight. Take a breather. This is a good time to pause and just look through your notes really quick. You've got management mode, you've got training mode. In management mode, your dog doesn't have a chance to rehearse the bad behaviors. They really don't. It's like they're not even in that situation. Prioritize avoiding. That's okay. They don't have to be shoved into a situation and hope that they get better, hope that they get over it. That's called flooding, and flooding is not in our categories. So in training mode, here's a couple of things I would recommend teaching your dog. Genuinely, just teach them how to walk on a loose leash. Teach them that leash is not just a tether, it's not a rope that just holds the 2 of you together. The leash is a directional guide. So if the dog feels pressure in one way, they should go that way. It should be very gentle and delicate, but again, we'll talk about that more in depth another day. Another thing that I love to teach reactive dogs is eye contact. I don't love using leave it. I don't love forcing eye contact. I really like focusing on rewarding the dog for not barking in the first place, rewarding the dog for not jumping, and then rewarding for eye contact that naturally comes when the dog gets more comfortable. If there's a snake next to me, you best believe I would stop looking at this camera. You best believe I wouldn't sit my butt down right here. So don't ask your dog to sit in an uncomfortable environment. Or let me say this, don't ask your dog to sit in an environment that they find to be uncomfortable in that moment. Don't ask them to look at you instead of that person or dog coming by if they are uncomfortable in that moment. Now, how would you even know? Body language. We'll get there. So teach them to walk on a loose leash, teach them eye contact, and I also really highly recommend teaching your dog to match your walking pace, to be able to speed up, slow down, stop, turn around as you do. Now, I could make an hour-long video on each of these categories, but let's just jump right along into distractions. I want you to consider your distraction to have a volume knob. So there's a level of intensity, a level of difficulty, beginner, advanced, with your distraction. Okay, so now knowing that, think about turning up the volume, turning down the volume. If you turn up the volume, then you're making that distraction a lot more enticing or a lot more scary to your dog. Now, with all that being said, I want you to consider two key factors here: your distance and your timing. Your distance is your distance away from the distraction. The further away you are, the easier it is. The closer you are, the harder it is. And your timing. When are you deciding to exit? When are you deciding to mark and reward? Your timing has so much of an impact here. And the distance is absolutely within your control on your end of the leash. Now, body language in itself, I just want to touch on really quickly here. Your dog's body language is going to be that key component for you to be able to anticipate the barking, anticipate the pulling. But it's so subtle that unless you study the canine ladder of aggression, you will not know. Unless you actually study your dog's body language based on this canine ladder of aggression, you will not be able to read their stress level. The ladder of aggression is not a bad thing. The ladder of aggression is just a chart of behaviors. It literally is like this list of saying like, hey, this is when your dog is mildly stressed. You know, if somebody's petting your dog and your dog lays down and they lift their leg up, your dog starts to lick their nose. Your dog starts to yawn, your dog starts to turn their head away. A dog is approaching, your dog starts to lick their nose, lick their mouth. Those are really subtle stress signals that your dog is asking for space. If your dog is stuck on a leash with you, they don't have the option to just walk away. Therefore, they actually don't have the option of avoidance. Avoiding the distraction, the trigger, it's just not an option. What are they left with? Confrontation. What does confrontation look like? Reactivity. All right, friends, I hope that you enjoyed today's video. I had a 10-minute cap. I cut it a little short because honestly, if I keep going, I'm just gonna have to make an even longer video. So if we want a part 2, if you like this, let me know. If you made it to this point in the video, kudos to you. Good job for putting in the hard work. Leave a dog emoji in the comment section so that I know you made it to this part of the video.